For those people who may have a thought, an idea, talent, but are afraid, what can you say to them?
Um, just go for it. Block out all the negative energy and
Yes.
just go. Go for it. You never know. You never know. You never know.
Welcome back to another episode of Rosie Talks Life. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for, commenting, liking, subscribing, following. You are very generous, and I thank you for that. I thank you. We actually have an exciting show today. All of the shows are exciting, but I'm a little hyped because I got two, people from the music industry, icons in their own rights. So before I get to that, it's Rosie Talks Life. So I just want to talk a little something here, because I always have a little something to throw out there. So, traveling with children is not easy. I just want to put that out there. So my heart goes out to those parents who have to gather up the bottles and the bags and the pampers and the change of clothes and then still keep an eye on the rebel who trying to run past you. I know it's not easy. So, again, my memory is still fresh. So much so, we were just coming back from Vegas recently. And in the airport, as I going through TSA, I saw a little baby rolling around on the floor like she was auditioning the carpet. I mean, when I tell you, rolling on the floor, bawling, hitting some octaves that was making me say, I hope that baby not on my flight. Those were the words I said. And as the Lord will have it, the baby was sitting behind me. Right behind me, and kicking my seat, do, and bawling. I actually have it on video. I don't even know if I want. You know what? I think I might share the video so we could splice it in here so you could. Well, I tell you, that baby was crying. That baby has a future as an opera singer. It hits some octaves, you see, that my son, for those of you who may not know, is on the spectrum. He is on the spectrum of autism. He's quite brilliant. But as you know, for people on the spectrum, noises like that trigger them. And I saw him, he was in the middle seat, and I saw him stop and turn around slowly to watch the baby a bad eye and maybe say a couple of choice words. So I touched him and I said, no, she's fine. Well, she wasn't fine. So she continued to bawl and scream. The grandmother had to run down and get the baby. And, it was a scene. So, I was talking to my husband and he said, you forget Zane shut down TSA at Fort Lauderdale. And I go, oh my, how quickly we forget. Because now my son is big, but I'll give you the story. One day, we're traveling from Fort Lauderdale to New York, and my son at the time was 4 or 5 and quite hyperactive, and we had to have a strategy to let him come through TSA. So I'm telling the man at TSA, sir, my son is a runner. Let me go ahead and catch him. He goes, no problem, mommy. You just let him go through. I said, no, sir. No, seriously. I cannot let him through. My son is a runner. Well, he didn't listen. You know, rubber band, when you just let it go? Well, they let it go, and my son took off. When I tell you took off, he jumped over where they do the bags, and he was gone. Down the ramp, he was gone. They detained us. And then here goes the TSA officers breathing hard to try catch the boy who obviously looking to board a flight somewhere. Because now he's in the regular terminal. 10 minutes later, up comes this pleasingly plump TSA officer holding up my son's hand, yanking him up the ramp. And she's breathing hard because she close to a heart attack. And the man says to her, "Ah, Maria, he made you run, huh?" And she goes, "The little boy nearly killed me." I say all of this to say, give people grace with children. Because I forgot that I had one of those kids who tore up an airport once some time ago. So yes, this baby was crying, and she cried for that flight from Las Vegas to New York. She stopped for maybe an hour and then picked up again. But I had to remember that I too was there. So again, grace. That's all I'm going to say. We'll be right back with my special guest. I'm not telling you his name because sharp, sharp, sharp. And we will be back on Rosie Talks Live. Thank you again for joining us. I remember when we came from the era before everything was on the phone, where we used to tell stories to one another. We used to call them Jumbie stories. In other countries, they call it Duppy stories. America, maybe ghost stories, whatever. But the best storyteller was my mama. She would give me the best stories. So I'm going to give you one. I'm going to share a quick story. She said one day, this is like at night. I love it. And her voice was so awesome. She says one day, a man's wife always asks for a cat. And he says, "I don't want a cat." But then one day he was coming home from work and he saw this beautiful cat. And he says, "You know what? This cat looks lonely and I could give it a home." So he picked it up and took it home to the wife, right? So he gets home and the wife loves the cat. About a week or two later, the man is walking by the same area and he sees another cat sitting on the wall. And the cat says to him, "Hello," my mother had voices, "when you go home, tell Squeevy that Squalver said Squalver is dead." He had a Jumbie, Duppy, ghost cat. Ha! Woo! Well, needless to say, that man levitated home because he wasn't sure what level of cat he had. Those were the days when we told stories and we were engaged, and it created up here, that memory, and we became even more creative. I'm not dogging the electronic society that we live in right now, but I can tell you that we had creative times. I remember when storytelling was the bomb. Welcome back to Rosie Talks Live. And today, my first guest is none other than Hales Castello. Now, Hales is a well-known Vincentian icon here in New York, a true all-rounder and entertainer, MC extraordinaire, and I want to call him the Karaoke King. It's so good to see you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're a busy man, so I feel like I'm very fortunate to, because you're always on the move. Like, I admire somebody who is grinding and just keeping doing their thing. Boss, you're looking younger, though.
Trying to pay the bills, yeah.
Yeah, but you're looking young, though. What's going on? You're drinking something, what's going on?
58. Going on.
You don't look it at all. Yeah. No, seriously, no, that's... I just want to say that, my memory, because I always have snapshots of memories with different people, is that you are always immersed in not only our culture and what our people are doing, but you also keep your finger on the pulse of what pulls us in, and I really want to just commend you for always, almost like you're a forerunner, not almost, you are.
Well, thank you. Entertainment, you're always looking for that other stuff, that new stuff, that, because, what happened 5 years ago, things change so quickly.
Yes, they do. Yes, oh my goodness.
So you have to keep evolving.
And be relevant, especially in that industry.
Yeah, exactly.
In your industry. First of all, let's kind of go back down memory lane for a minute. Were you always interested in music and entertainment as a child?
growing up, I was kind of a lonely kid. You know, when I say lonely kid, you know, I had the eczemas.
Uh-oh.
You know, so you know, growing up in the Caribbean, you have these things on your hand and your foot, and you're not gonna make much friends because
They
know,
make fun.
they make fun of you. So
Right,
you know,
right, right.
So I think I was about 12 or 13, and they were having some kind of a talent show competition at the school. So I wrote a song
Wow.
and sang it, and pretty much that's where it started. And then all of a sudden you felt accepted because people are clapping for you. People,
Because
you know.
they almost shocked. They didn't
yeah,
have
yeah,
this
yeah,
talent, right?
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
so
There's nothing like the adrenaline and the euphoria of when people receive you and you go, oh.
you know, and I remember. I can't remember the song, but I remember there was a part of it that says, "My heart is touched, my spirit live. Woman may be the weaker vessel, but surely they are the crown of creation."
Woo! You had lyrics at 12?
You know, so I mean, I might have borrowed it. I don't know. But,
No, but you executed
yeah,
it
but
well.
you know, that was it, and it started there, and never really looked back. You know, joined some local bands.
Right.
But you see, growing up in St. Vincent, those days, you had two things. You had sports and you had music. When I say music, we didn't have electric instruments. We used to be on the block with a box guitar, you know, and we belt out our voices, you know, because you know there was no electric. So you know, and you know.
But I think that was the best way to start.
Yeah, you know.
You know, because there was no synthetic anything.
Yep.
It's either you had it or you didn't have it.
Yeah, so you know, so then I was singing, and then there were three guitars. We used to be on the block playing all three, but then there were three rhythm guitars. Eventually, I took one of the guitar, removed two of the strings, and made it a bass guitar.
Wow!
So
you did?
I was a bass player. I was a bass player, and
You're ingenious.
yeah, you know, so that's where it actually started.
Forerunner.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
And then, you know, then got into some competitions, wrote songs for a few people.
At home in the
In St. Vincent. And the same string band took us to Young Island. So we used to do
That
the
was-
Young
now you
Island
hit
gig.
the big time.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, you get the US dollar tips.
That's what I'm saying. And for
Young-
those who don't know, Young Island is a beautiful resort,
It's-
island resort, right?
Yep. So the lead of the band, he was friends with the manager for a group which was well known throughout the Caribbean, Asterix.
Yes.
And we were invited to perform at the manager's wedding.
Oh.
And as luck will have it, on the night of the wedding, the electricity, you know, we were famous for. You were famous
You know what? Okay, wait, stop. Time out. So I know we're giggling because this is, but in the Caribbean, you could be good, and boop, lights gone.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
So that was it. And
Right.
so we being the string band,
Right?
we had to be, we pretty much carried the wedding.
Wow.
And then
And people danced and
yeah.
music,
And then the leader for Asterix spotted me and says, we want to recruit this guy as
Isn't that
a lead
something?
vocalist. So long story short, this was 1985, 86.
You're a teenager. Oh,
And
young man.
in a matter of 2 weeks, I was on a plane touring North America with Asterix.
Wow.
So that's where it started. Yeah.
So again, I mean, you were the lead singer with the Papal band Asterix, and I know you performed with other bands.
Yes, I have.
And I see here, as I was, doing a little research, you toured and performed all over. Not only the U.S., you did in the Caribbean as
Caribbean,
well.
Canada,
I mean,
yeah.
right. My question is, do you see your kids following in this footstep? Any one of them?
My son is musically inclined, but more instruments. You know,
Okay.
he doesn't sing, but
Okay.
he plays.
He has that gift.
Yeah,
right?
he plays the
And
piano
ear.
and he plays the clarinet in the school band.
But if he wanted to pursue it, how would you kind of manage or guide him or give him advice?
Basically, just be true to yourself. You know, I mean,
Very
once
true.
be true to if you gotta like it. You gotta be you have to love it. And sometimes the rewards are not what you want it to be, but you gotta love it. It has to be a passion.
So Hales, one day a friend of ours had a birthday party during COVID, and you hosted her karaoke.
Yep.
So I know she's saying she's gonna have karaoke for her birthday. I was like, what she mean? I mean, really, I was like, how is this going to work?
I know.
And you were stellar. I mean, we were engaged, we were laughing, we were singing, and I tip my hat to you because you found a niche.
Because before COVID, I worked at 6 different venues.
Oh, okay.
6
That's
nights a week.
lot. Wow.
So once COVID came, I'm like everybody else, everything is shut down. And then I saw my kids came home and they're doing Zoom work.
Right.
And I'm like, there has to be a way for me to use Zoom to host karaoke shows.
Right.
And indeed there were, so you're able to, I asked people to download the software on their phones, and they would sing through the phone. And I was able to have the lyrics show up on their phone.
Right.
And so we did like 5 shows a week, Zoom karaoke.
But it was great.
Yeah,
because,
it was great.
And I thought, he is on to something here. I mean, I know, and I'm very aware that you were doing this before.
As a matter of fact, I got me a small contract with a health company, Amida Care.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they did, so I hosted all of their
Events.
during.
And that,
COVID.
I think, would have been like, a relief, kind of lifesaver,
Yep.
breaking it up, because we were just trapped.
Yep. And it was a good, I remember it was John's birthday.
I know it was Joanne's birthday. That was
that was great.
And,
That was
and
nice.
you really, again, after, at first people were a little shy, but once that was done.
Couple of drinks.
Well, I don't know. They were drinking. I can't drink. They don't want me on the streets with these, drinking.
so-
But it was funny. You did such a great job. So tell me something. I know that you have a new project out, a new
do,
song.
yeah.
Tell me.
It's called How You Feeling. I wrote a song in the summer for a young man, and I was driving home listening to that song,
Right.
and the producer of that song is the same person who produced Turn Me On, Kevin Little, Turn Me On,
Yes,
Adrian
yes.
Bailey.
Adrian
So-
is a genius.
He was like, man, you got to sing over the song that I wrote for the person. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to sing over the song. So I was at work, and while I was at work, I removed the vocals from that song and just decided to listen to the rhythm on my way home.
Right.
And then, bam, it just came to me. How you feel?
Let's just listen to a little clip of that for a sec.
Feeling. Oh yeah. Die, 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 die. Tell me, am I doing this right? Tell me, is it the way you like? You keep saying it's like riding a bike, but satisfaction might take all night. How you feeling? You like that? Just tell me how you feeling. You like that? How you feeling? You like that? Just tell me how you feeling. You like that? You like that? The way you move your body is what dreams are made of.
This is
yeah,
new.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
my
kind
goodness.
of just looking for somebody who could just take it to that
Next level.
next level,
Yeah,
so.
we need to work on that.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna
need
try to
work on-
find somebody who can take it to.
Are you having? Is it on platforms yet? Like
It's on the platforms, but
Is
I'm
it-
not. That's my Achilles.
heel.
Yeah, I'm not.
verse, like fully immersed.
Yeah,
not
into
verse.
it, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Because so is it on Apple? Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, it's on Spotify, Apple, and all of the.
I'm going to make sure that we get this information so we have it here for people that they could at least, if they want to. I like it. And you, since you're 12, you're singing these suggestive songs, sir. Listen, one of the things, and I'm going to wrap up, is that, first of all, thank you for coming. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
You know, I hope that you will come and visit again.
I will come again.
To visits.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's what I meant.
I know what you meant.
Okay.
I say Vincent, you know I know what you meant. But also, what I would like, though, for you to just, I always like for us to inspire someone before we go. For those people who may have a thought, an idea, talent, but are afraid, what can you say to them?
Just go for it. You know, block out all the negative energy and just go. You know, go for it. You never know. You never know. I mean, we just mentioned Kevin Little, and you know, when that song came out, no one thought much of it. I mean, that song was out for 2.5 years before it became a hit. Before it
Wow.
Before
It took off.
Yeah. So
You never could tell, right?
you never could tell. You know, go for it, man. If you have a talent, just you know.
I just really want to thank you for reminding us about the many things that you have done.
Yeah.
And, you know, continue to look out, you know, as they call you, the king of karaoke or the karaoke king.
Yeah, I'm blessed that I'm still out there 6 nights a week. As a matter of fact, when I leave here, I'm heading to my Friday night gig.
And where is that? Just so people
Oh,
know.
that's in Brooklyn, Woodsies, Clarkson on 96th Street. Yeah,
There you go.
So,
Hales, thank you.
thank you.
We're going to do this again.
It was a pleasure, Will.
And-
Definitely.
definitely. And we will be right back with my second guest, Rosie Talks Live. Thank you again. Thank
Babe, where's the pepper sauce? Thank you. Yeah, man. Hall's pepper sauce. No other heat will do.
Hall's pepper sauce can be purchased at Sam's Caribbean Marketplace, located at 225 Hempstead Turnpike in West Hempstead, or purchased online at sams247.com. Welcome back to Rosie Talks Live. When I tell you I'm a little hype, I'm a little hype because I have someone who I grew up listening to here, and even before we go there, take a moment and travel back with me and tell me if you're not moving and grooving. Hit it, please.
Break for love. Break for love.
By now, with that iconic beat, you know it's Break for Love. And I have none other than the icon, Keith Thompson. Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting
being
me. Thank you.
Man,
Appreciate it.
first of all, let me just say thank you for coming through Noah's Ark to get here.
Yeah, it was something. Torrential rain and traffic because of the rain, and it's also the time of the day.
Yes,
You know.
but thank you, because I knew that, first of all, this is a song that once I heard it, my right foot would get heavy on the gas, and then my mama wanted to hit me. It was just a problem. But it's one of those songs, man, or those beats. It's the beat. It's the beat. And I think that you're known for these beats. Well done. And so, it's such a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's jump into it. You know, Jamaican, correct? Came here and you did your thing. You went to school, but then you got into the music industry. How did that happen?
I've always been interested in the music business. For some weird reason, like even in school, say grade school, if we had book reports to do or research to do, I would find it a way to make it about music. I would. I remember in grade school, I was obsessed with the idea that a lot of songs on the pop radio sounded like reggae. And it didn't just sound like they were
Right.
like Paul Simon's Mother and Child Reunion.
That's right.
So I would do some research and library. There was no Google then, and that was it. So I was always obsessed with it. I was always obsessed with new songs that came out that had a distinct sound. Like you hear Stomp, you're like, what is that? I'm like, oh my God, it's so unique, Or some other, Michael Jackson's what was it? Heartbreak Hotel. Songs that just was so unique. So I was always interested.
Always drawn.
Yeah, always drawn to that. Plus, I was always singing around the house, and my parents would buy me little, instruments to play. I never played them well, but I kept up. And
No, but I think within you have
I
this
had it.
innate thing for the beat.
Yeah. But being with a West Indian family, they want you to have something sensible to do to go to college. But I was also interested in film and television, so I studied communications.
Smart.
And
Smart.
and majored in music production and engineering. So, because I knew, well, I thought I couldn't sing, but maybe I could be a producer. So learning to be an
Time out,
engineer.
sir. Time out, sir. You thought you couldn't sing?
Yeah, I didn't think I was a singer. I didn't have the personality to be a singer. But I thought I could be a producer and do the engineering and make the hits because I was writing.
Gotcha.
So deep down,
gotcha.
I'm really a writer producer. I couldn't get Luther Vandross to sing my song, so I would sing the demos. I couldn't get
Luther,
what's his name, James Ingram or whatever. So you sing the song yourself,
That's right.
and therefore you learn how to imitate them a little bit. So
So then how did you, well, you were telling me just off camera a little bit that you had another hit. You thought it was going to be a hit.
oh yeah, well yeah. I mean
Before
before
Break
Break for Love, I had released my own record, a reggae record, and marketed it. But while I was in the mastering studio, the place where you actually make the final version, I met Vaughn Mason, and he was the producer of other hits like Bounce, Rock, Skate, Bounce,
Wow.
Rock, Skate.
So
So I
yes.
met him, and he brought me into the studio to work with him on a track called "Caught You Cheating," and I thought that was going to be big because I sang it really strong and almost like Teddy Pendergrass kind of style.
Oh, shit,
or at the time
Teddy.
it was what's his name? Colonel Abrams had that style.
I
so
love Colonel.
that was the style I was singing in. Wasn't copying him. We're both from the Teddy Pendergrass school, so so I guess
It's
I
that
thought that was gonna
sultry
hit.
voice almost.
Yeah.
But yes, go
But
ahead.
I thought that was going to be the hit under Rays because that was the name of the group. And then you call me back in. And we're doing it. He's telling me what he wants. I wrote the second half. He wrote the opening line.
Right.
And I'm in the studio and I'm singing. I'm like, this is not going to go anywhere. I'm sorry. But I follow his direction. And at the end, based on the instruction he was giving me, I was getting
Right.
frustrated.
Right.
So I said, can I curse? You can't? Or can? No?
go
I said, F it. But
Right,
I used the word.
right.
I said, F it. And I'm out. And I got out and, we finished up and he's mixing. So when you're mixing back then, you had to mute certain things. Nowadays you can just erase, but you had to mute. So you remember where it was, and then came back in. And if you listen to the track near the end, you hear it.
When you just were like, you're over it, right?
But he got the F and stuff.
Right,
but
right,
the
right.
ear is still there, but it sounded good in the echo, so we left it.
Isn't that something?
So when you read the lyrics, nowadays, one day I was online and I saw they had the lyrics. I'm like, oh, let me read this. I'm like, and at the end it goes, give. I'm like, no.
That's not it.
I didn't say give.
No, believe
But,
me, I didn't say give.
Yeah, But
But then how did Break for Love then just...
well, I mean, he was no longer on a major label, but he had his own label. And in the house industry, almost like Calypso or reggae, it's an underground thing. And you have the shops that buy it and distribute it.
Right.
So we went around and got it to the shops. And it was made for clubs. It wasn't even made for radio or pop market.
Right.
And it took off in the clubs.
Because literally, is, as you say, underground.
Yeah.
Because I remember, oh my God, not Bentley's, because that was kind of... but you went to like the Palladium, you went to other places.
Yeah,
back
1018 and different places.
Yes.
Red Zone, Red Parrot. that kind of
Correct.
thing, yeah.
And, you heard things there that you might not have heard on radio.
No, you would never hear.
You know,
and
so-
we weren't making it for radio.
Radio,
Because
right.
believe it or not, you could sell
More.
30,000, 40,000 on your own and make more money than a pop artist on a major label if they sold 1 million. Because by the time it gets down to them, they don't make that much money.
That's what MC Hammer
So
did,
yeah, so that was how it was going. And when it sold 30,000 is when Columbia picked it up, and it made it to regular radio. But I'm the one, believe it or not, because I was on college radio in my early days.
Yeah.
I knew the structure of how to go to a radio station. So I'm the one that went and brought it to BLS. It was Hot Something it was called back then, and then KISS was a young station at the time. So I brought it to them on what's called Radio Day. And
That sounds like
they
Full
listen
Love
to-
of Basketball with Queen Latifah. And
yeah,
when they
yeah.
were
Yep.
bringing in,
In a sense, yeah,
they
you
give
bring
you
it
the
in,
CD.
yeah, and they go back and listen
right.
and come back. Okay, I'll give it a try. Literally, the girl's name was Debbie. I remember her 1st name, and she gave it a try. I told her, Tony Humphries was playing it at Zanzibar. So she's
Right,
like, oh, cool,
Zanzibar,
okay. And so she listened and she gave it a chance. BLS didn't.
Wow.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
Molly Mall was the person that ran that section,
jeez.
but his assistant was Bobby Condors. And
Oh!
Bobby Condors said he wasn't feeling it. He didn't even get it to Marley. All right, and that's the second track that he rejected. The first one was Caught You Cheating, the
How
one that I
much
thought
you
was gonna be a
think you
hit.
wanna kick
He said,
himself?
nah, I ain't feeling it. You sound like Colonel Abrams. I'm like, okay,
For a
fine.
brother, right.
And then this one, he said he wasn't feeling it. It was too, laid back, whatever.
Connor's back.
So it's fine because I went to KISS, like I said, and it was already getting played in the underground. And then it blew up on the street. The Spanish mix, para por amor. That was the one that you drive around the Bronx or wherever, and you'd hear it being played.
Right.
And then the talking one, Vaughn saying, "Let me do that for you," whatever.
Right, you
The
weren't feeling that,
Slammy,
right.
sleazy,
Right,
whatever.
right,
Oh man.
right.
And then radio, like I said, KISS.
Really was
is
the
a
one
radio
that.
broke it. Yeah.
Wow.
They put it in regular rotation.
I just love hearing
Yeah.
the backstory of that.
So I'm walking up Gun Hill Road in the Bronx, past McDonald's. I remember the spot, and I hear it on the radio. I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Keith, dude, you brought it to them. Why are you surprised?" But it's always surprising when
To
you
hear it out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
that's me. I mean, that's it. No, but
Brother, cut me a check,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah, so they took off, and
So,
rest is
so
history.
I know you're producing, you're doing a lot of things,
Yeah.
but before I even get to that part,
Yeah,
you rewrote "Break for Love,"
I re-sang it.
re-sang it,
Yeah.
right?
My daughter came out because years later, I had thought of doing stuff, and
Yeah.
it's a long story. But we're in the living room, and she came out to the area where some of the records. Remember records?
Vinyl, yeah.
And she pulled out, of all things, the old copy of that. I'm like, what the hell?
Right?
Okay, is that a hint? Well, you thought about doing it, so I realized if you re-sing the song over,
Right.
you own that recording, that sound recording, as opposed to the old label owning the sound recording. So I did it over, and it became a hit in Europe, Middle East,
You
and
were
China.
huge there.
No,
I
yeah,
see that. Like,
I just did a
seen-
festival
I
this
was
summer.
fu-
Yeah. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Istanbul and other places.
Yeah.
Can let's just get a sample of that, please. Wow.
So this version is with Rocco Radamala of France. And,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So he did that, and we got Louis Vega to do a mix.
Oh, Louis
and,
Vega did a
yeah,
mix?
and Charisma. So a lot of people came in on the mix. So, but yeah,
Oh, I like this.
more
Here we go. Nice.
So the goal is to try to sing it over like the
Of
original.
course,
and,
of course, of course. The essence of the song is right there.
Yeah, but when I listen carefully, I realize, the younger person, it is different. I'm older, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, but still, it is like a. So let's talk about your nephew.
Yeah. I mean, he's been following my career for a few years, but it's a big responsibility to make music with other people and build up their promises and their hopes and dreams. So I never really wanted to do that with anyone close to my family. So over the years, I have been releasing music by other artists from South
Okay.
Africa and Europe to fit their market. And he sent me a record that was from a few years ago. I like the rapping, the DJing on it. And I told him I'd do something with it. So finally, I did a remix of it, and we're going to put it out. It's slightly renamed because I restructured the whole thing. It's called Start the Party, and it's a party vibe record. And I think certain markets will like it.
Let me hear it, please. And I want to talk about that, something in the end. It feels like a fusion. Who's singing?
Him.
Why he sound like you?
Because I'm in the background. I do, I had to fill it out.
This is.
And he's also my nephew, so we're gonna have
You have a little
similar
DNA.
tonal
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, so I did.
Where can we get this?
It's coming out in on iTunes, Spotify, all the.
So you'll get us this information so we could put this
Definitely,
there as
yeah.
a absolutely.
Party by his name is Malik Yadiboy.
Malik Yadiboy.
I'm like,
So does
okay.
he have a handle on IG?
Yes.
And
Malik,
it's Malik.
Yeah, he's big on that stuff. I mean, I try, but he's like always on it and TikTok, wick whack, and all this stuff. And,
Patty whack. Give a dog a bone.
all this stuff,
What?
So but he's a dancehall artist. But,
No, it's great.
I put that on top of a club beat, and I think it works.
And I think,
sweating.
as you're saying, no, because you brought the heat, sir. So, what I'm going to say, because, we have to wrap up, and I wish we had more time, is that this is possibly something that can hit,
I hope so.
where he can maybe get into, like, be awarded or nominated for an award.
You never know.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
no,
it'll just make people dance and.
I'm
or
feeling it
make
because I'm going to
organic.
buy it.
Yeah.
You took a song out once, and I was like, because if you look at my phone, go and buy that.
Yeah.
So trust me.
Appreciate it,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, no. Like if I like something, that's what I. Keith,
KeithThompson.net.
Mr. Thompson.
Breakfulof.com.
That's
you can
right.
Find all that
break
stuff.
it out. Break
Yeah.
it out. And we're going to make sure that we get this information out there, boss.
See, that's what I'm
Did
saying.
anyone
Let's
see?
get
Did anyone
t-shirts.
catch the shirt? Did
Got
anyone
t-shirts for you.
catch the
Yeah,
shirt? That's what I'm
so.
saying. Break full up. Thank you. Thank you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for coming all this way. Again, did I not tell you I was going to bring the heat? I did. So, thank you to Keith Thompson for coming to Rosie Talks Live. I hope you enjoyed this segment. I mean, my goodness, and we're going to look out for Malik Yadiboy. Hot. It's hot. And again, thank you as always for joining me here at Rosie Talks Live. See you soon.